roll call. We'll start with Commissioner Bobadilla.
Present.
Chair Conway is excused. Vice Chair McClean is present. Commissioner Moore is absent. Commissioner Nakamura
is present.
And Commissioner Urbanski.
Present.
All right, and alternate Paul Cohen.
You're present, but you don't. Do you have a quorum? You have 3 out of.
We have 4.
4. Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. Perfect. So next we will move on to visitor comments. I see there's 2 attendees. Are there any visitors that would like to speak on something that's not on the agenda tonight?
Nobody has requested that as of yet, so I would ask the attendees to let me know in the chat if they want to speak and what they would like to speak about.
Okay, we'll give a couple minutes for them. They may be here for something on the agenda tonight. Okay, seeing no comments, we'll move on. So next is the consent items. There's 4 items for consent. The minutes from the March 4th, 2021 meeting. TC 820, Crescent Street closure during construction. TC 821, time extension for the First Street closure between Watson Avenue and Washington Avenue. And TC 823, weight limit on the Village Lane Bridge west of 150th Avenue. Are there any discussions for the consent items? Seeing none, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the consent items as written?
I motion to approve.
Commissioner Nakamura motions. Any seconds?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bobadilla. We will take a vote roll. Commissioner Nakamura.
Aye.
Commissioner Bobadilla.
Aye.
Commissioner Urbanski.
Aye.
And Vice Chair McClean is an aye. So it passes 4-0. Next on the agenda tonight is a public hearing, and I get to read a fun statement. The Traffic Commission will hold a hearing on issue TC 822 regarding crosswalk and pedestrian beacon on Southwest Beard Road at 151st Avenue. The hearing will begin with a report from the city traffic engineer, followed by testimony from the person who submitted the proposal. The city traffic engineer report will list the applicable substantive criteria and the reasons behind the recommendation. We will then hear testimony from other interested parties. If you wish to testify, please clearly state your name and address when given permission to speak on the phone or through the video. Your evidence and testimony must be directed to the criteria in section 6.02.060 determined to be applicable by the city traffic engineer or other criteria, current city, metro, TriMet, state, federal laws or policies, which you believe apply to the decision. After the hearing is closed, the commission will deliberate on the evidence received and make an oral decision to approve with conditions, or deny the proposal. The decision will not be final until a final written order is signed by the chairman. All persons who testify will receive a written notice of the final decision of the commission. Decisions of the commission are recommendations to the city council and become effective after approval by the council. Typically, traffic commission recommendations appear as consent agenda on the city council and are approved by the council without discussion. The city council ordinarily does not conduct a public hearing on these recommendations. Any decision of the commission today may be appealed to the city council. When an appeal is properly filed, a separate hearing will be scheduled before the council. Any appeal must be filed with the city recorder within 10 days of the traffic commission final written order. The procedures related to the written appeals are available at the office of the city traffic engineer or the city recorder. Now that I have read that, I will pass it off to Mr. Khasho to talk about the staff report for TC 822.
Yeah, before I start the staff report, we received additional testimony, and I did email it to you a little late. I apologize for this, but the additional testimony is in favor of installing a crosswalk and a beacon on Beard Road.
Thank you.
The city has received several requests to install a marked crosswalk and improve pedestrian safety on Beard Road at 151st. Many families that they live on the west side, they cross the street to get to the daycare center that they have on the north side of the street. And also some walkers, they cross the street to the other neighborhood on the other side. As an interim solution, the city installed pedestrian warning sign to warn drivers that pedestrians are crossing at that location until funding was identified to install a crosswalk and a beacon. The functional classification of Beard Road is a 2-lane arterial, 1 through lane in each side on each direction, and bike lanes. The posted speed on Beard Road is 35 miles per hour. Like I said, there are currently pedestrian warning signs at that location. A traffic count that was taken in July of 2018 showed that Beard Road near 151st Avenue carries approximately 6,500 vehicles per day. The measured 85th percentile speed, which is 85% of the drivers drive at or below the speed, is 38 miles per hour. National research and guidelines published by the Federal Highway Administration does not recommend installing a marked crosswalk at uncontrolled locations, intersections, or mid-block locations that are not controlled with a stop sign or a traffic signal on a 2-lane roadway that carries less than 9,000 vehicles per day with a posted speed of 40 miles per hour. This recommendation is due to the increase in pedestrian risk if a marked crosswalk are added without other substantial crossing improvements, such as median islands or a beacon. Although the speed limit on Beard Road is 35 miles per hour, the 85th percentile is almost 40 miles per hour. So those guidelines by the Federal Highway Administration will apply to this location. I mean, it's a very small difference. So we are borderline. The manual and uniform traffic control devices gave interim approval to allow the use of rectangular rapid flashing beacons and as a warning beacon to supplement standard pedestrian signs and markings, where a crosswalk approach is not controlled by a stop, yield, or a traffic signal. We have many of those in the city that were approved by the Traffic Commission through the years. Research on the rectangular rapid flashing beacon shows a high compliance rate of drivers stopping to pedestrians. It ranges, it's in the upper 80s, almost 100%. If you compare it to a circular flashing yellow beacon, they're around 15 to 20% compliance. So it has a good compliance rate, and this will ensure that pedestrian safety using these beacons is attained. Staff is recommending installing a crosswalk and a beacon on Southwest Beard Road at 151st Avenue. The cost to install this beacon and crosswalk is around $30,000, and currently funding is identified in the current capital improvement plan. It is under project number 5206. Staff is asking the commission tonight to approve this request. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khasho. Any questions for the city engineer? Seeing none, we will go on to the public testimony. If those attendees in the Zoom would like to speak about this TC 822, please let us know. Oh, looks like there's one. I will ask Stephanie to admit that person so they can speak. And so when you speak, please just state your name, your address, if you're for or against, or if you're representing anyone besides yourself, and we'll be happy to hear your thoughts. I think, go ahead, Ms.
Bachlan.
Bachlan.
Yes, hi, I'm Lori Bachlan. I live on 151st Avenue, and I cross at that crossing multiple times a day, in the morning and evening at least, taking walks or riding a bike or taking a run. And watching, it wasn't mentioned, the daycare was mentioned, but that extra in and out there, plus the volume of traffic that was mentioned is pretty amazing. And I'm watching it go up as we're heading back to the hopefully normal. And I watch people trying to be patient there all the time, and very much encourage this to get put in before somebody doesn't have enough patience and the cars don't pay attention, the drivers don't pay attention. So just really would like to see this happen. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions from the commissioners for Ms. Bachland? Seeing none, we will go on to if there's any other public testimony. If anyone else would like to speak on TC 822, please let us know in the chat. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing portion and we will move on to deliberations. Are there any other any questions or comments from the commissioners? I know we have a small group, so I'm kind of maybe just going to go around the room. Commissioner Urbanski.
I'm very impressed with the effectiveness of these RRFBs, and I'm fully supportive of their installation here.
Fantastic, thank you. Commissioner Bobadilla, any comments?
No, I'm actually glad that something is going in on there. I'm very familiar with that area, and it's true. There's a lot of vehicles there that are very impatient. It's like half of the time you can pass on, the other half is not. So it's good to see some great progress in helping the community there.
Commissioner Nakamura. Oh, I think you're on mute, Commissioner Nakamura.
I agree. It is a very busy road. It seems to have, it's used a lot of times as a shortcut from 155th to Murray, and people wanting to cross to get down to Hall, or it's definitely needed, and I'm very supportive of it. It'll really help the pedestrian traffic.
Great, thank you. I concur with the fellow commissioners and the staff report. I believe this is a really good idea. I think something might have come in the Q&A. So there was a question from, do you have specific data analysis for compliance at these sites in Beaverton after their installation? So that'll be a question for Mr. Khasho.
No, we have not did any before and after on those. No.
Okay, thank you.
But from observations, sometimes we're out in the field and we watch how drivers are reacting. Most of the time, I mean, I'll say probably 99.9% of the time, drivers will stop.
I agree. I think from my opinion, I haven't witnessed that very often, if ever. So I think it's a vast majority when there's the flashing, the yellow flashing lights, that definitely alerts vehicles that there is a pedestrian there. And I think having these crosswalks helps with pedestrian traffic, helps with safety. So again, I'm all for this. Any other comments, questions from any of the commissioners? Seeing none, I will entertain. Does anyone would like to make a motion to approve TC 822?
I move to approve TC.
Commissioner Bobadilla makes the motion to approve it. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nakamura. We will take a vote. We'll start with Commissioner Nakamura.
Aye.
Commissioner Bobadilla.
Aye.
Commissioner Urbanski.
Aye.
And myself, Vice Chair McClean, also aye. So this passes unanimously 4-0. We're moving right along today. So next is old business. Is there any old business, Mr. Khasho?
Yes, I have a couple of announcements for old business. I can't remember the date of the Traffic Commission approving the 20 miles per hour on Hall Boulevard between 2nd and 5th Street, and also Watson Avenue between 2nd and 5th Street. We requested 20 miles per hour since it's a business district, and ODOT just approved our requests. So we will be installing 20 miles per hour signs for that section of on Hall Boulevard and on Watson.
Fantastic.
The other old business is the last Traffic Commission meeting, we had a workshop for the traffic calming program. And at the time, the BCCI were asked to work with the NACs and come back to the Traffic Commission with a recommendation on the voting for the traffic calming plans. It seems they reached to most of the NACs and they're ready to come in June.
Okay.
So that's the next meeting. So they will be coming in with their recommendation. So the meeting will only have the traffic calming program discussion, basically. And we'll see what we'll come up with. Also, last Tuesday, the city engineer and myself, we went to the city council roundtable meeting, and we had a little conversation about the traffic calming program. And the city council are interested in changing that 67% requirement for approval of the plan. So I'll be bringing these issues up at the next meeting.
Okay, great. So I think that goes to new business. There will be a meeting in June,
Yes.
first Thursday in June. Does anyone else have any old business? So I think also the new business, Mr. Khasho mentioned that Commissioner Brown has moved. So unfortunately, he is no longer with the commission. I will also add that there have been 2 citizen advisory committees for the Downtown Loop project, and there is some information on the Beaverton website. They're looking for, I think, from May 1st to May 17th, community participation, taking pictures and leaving comments about how to improve, or feedback about things to improve or opportunities to change around the downtown loop. And I think they're actually giving like a gift card, where they're giving local restaurants are donating gift cards to give away. So if you want a chance, you can tell your friends or family or neighbors they want to participate. It's on that website. We've had 2 meetings, but there really isn't any update on stuff for the future right now. It's more just been brainstorming and what we can do to try to make the loop a little bit more pedestrian friendly.
Sergeant Shaw has his hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Shaw.
So just question for Mr. Khasho. So 2 things. Are they going to put some warning for that 20-mile-an-hour zone for folks? Are there going to be like speed change notices, that kind of stuff out there for them? Or is it just going to pop up one day? What's their thought on that?
Yeah, typically what we do, we will install new signs and we will add flags on top of the signs. And we ask the police not to enforce it 100% like the first 2 weeks. It's just to give warnings. And after that, if somebody violates the speed limit, they will be probably ticketed. So.
Okay. We'll coordinate. I guess we'll coordinate with that when that goes in. If you could just email me, let me know. And then secondly, I did see, so in a past meeting, we approved the beacon signal there on Hall Boulevard near
Sabin.
Sabin, yeah. And that's being installed too. I saw them working on that. So that should be coming shortly.
Yeah, it's under construction at this time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Good question. Thanks for the update.
There,
Commissioner oh, go ahead.
there was a question in the Q&A about how long it will take to get the rapid flashing beacon installed, since you guys just passed it.
Oh, on Beard Road and 151st. So yeah, we'll have to go through the city council for approval. But Mr. Khasho, what's an approximate time frame for those things once the city council approves it?
If the beacons, the construction of the beacons is done by our construction crew and street crew. So now, since the weather is good, they're gonna jump on doing overlays. So it could be the end of the summer or sometime in the fall. We'll try to push for the fall.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
This type of projects could be done in the winter time. So it's just the foundation concrete and the rest of it, it's just electrical work. So.
Okay, great. Thank you. Commissioner Bobadilla.
Want to make a quick comment regarding the speed change, Jabra. When that happens, if there's sufficient time, could it just be an announcement also on the Beaverton newsletter? I think it would be kind of good to give people that FYI ahead if the timing is right.
Yeah, it depends on the timing, you know, because the newsletter gets prepared not just like a week before it's published. They use more time to do it. So I'll see if it could be published in the newsletter. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would hate to see people ticketed after 2 weeks. That's why. So like really, especially when people are just used to just, and it happens. So thank you.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, very good comments. Any other comments, questions, old business, new business? Seeing none, I think we kind of flew through this today. So I will adjourn the meeting and thank you everyone for participating, and those who watch it online, thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Good night.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, logging off here.